Hello grade 12s, you are welcome once again to our channel. My name is Veleleni Nkosi. In this video we are looking at genetics for grade 12. So we will be looking at the introduction. So in the introduction we will mention Mendel as the father of genetics, and we will also look at the concept in inheritance, which is very important concept, so it must be understood. So we must understand the chromatin and the chromosome. We must understand genes and allele, and then we must understand dominant and recessive alleles, and we must understand phenotype and the genotype, homozygous and heterozygous. So we will also explain the law of dominance. These are the content for this video. Please do not go anywhere if you are a grade 12s, as I will be breaking down this concept here, as it is very important. So without wasting more time, let's get to it. So this guy that you see on your screen, his name is Gregor Mendel. So Gregor Mendel is an Australian monk, and he's regarded as the father of genetics for his work on a garden of pear plant that helped explain how genes are passes from parents to offspring. So this is the guy who explained how genes are passes from the parent to a offspring using a pear tree or a pear plant. So he's an Australian. This is the information that you must know, and you must know his name and surname, which is Gregor Mendel. And then now let's go to the concept of inheritance. So the concept in inheritance, we start with a chromatin network and a chromosome. So a chromatin network is a tangled network of DNA and protein located within the nucleus. Like this cell contains, these are the chromatin network. So chromatin network is a DNA. We learned about DNA in the first chapter. It's a DNA with protein. So DNA, it's wrapped around the protein, and then in this form, this gene inside the nucleus are called chromatin network. And then chromosome, it's a thread-like structure made up of DNA and protein located within the nucleus. So this is the chromosome. So chromosome and the chromatin network are the same thing. It's just that they are in a different format. So as the cell is approaching for a cell division, so this chromatin network, they becomes more compact, like they become more condensed, and then they look like this one. So they are visible when you look at them in a microscope. So but the material inside is the same. They have the same material. It's just that this one is more condensed. So this is the difference between a chromatin network and the chromosome. And then, so to explain it further, so here I have a cell. This cell contains chromosome. So what you see, this is a chromosome. So the chromosome, like if we start from here, we have a DNA. These are the DNA. If you see, we have nitrogenous bases, and we have double strand, which is also twisting. This is a DNA. This DNA is wrapped around the protein. So this is the protein. This DNA is wrapping around the protein. When it's wrapped around the protein, we call it chromatin. And then this chromatin is also condensed, like this one. If you see here, it condensed, and then it becomes a chromosome. So here, this is the clear explanation of the chromatin and the chromosome. They have the same material, but they are just in different format. So this is the definition of chromatin network and the chromosome. So the chromatin network, most of the time a cell spends its time carrying chromatin network, but as the cell during the cell cycle is approaching cell division, and then this chromatin network becomes more compact, then it becomes a chromosome. And then going further, like a human being, we have 23 pairs of chromosome. Like here it's a cell. So this thing, we call it human karyotype. It shows the number of chromosome in a cell. So for a normal human, so a human who is regarded as normal, their chromosomes we have 22 autosome and then 1 sex chromosome. So this is this white chromosome here are sex chromosome. So if it's X and X, that means this individual it's female. If it's X and Y, then this individual it's a male. So this is the difference between a female and a male. So we see it by the 23 chromosome. So X and X it's female, X and Y it's a male. And then from 1 to 22 chromosome are called autosome, while 23 it's called sex chromosome or gonosome. Another name it's gonosome. So it's S-O-M-E at the end. So it's gonosome. So it's another name for sex chromosome. But these other chromosomes are called autosome. And then this chromosome are pairs. If you see, we've got pair in each chromosome. They are pair. So one is from a paternal side, like this one is from the father, while one is from mother. So every person contains one chromosome from the father and one chromosome from the mother. These pairs, there are 23 pairs. So one from the father and one from the mother. So we must be able to interpret this human karyotype. Then now let's go to explain gene and allele. So a gene is a segment of a DNA in a chromosome that contains code for a particular characteristics. For example, here we have a DNA. So you see this is a DNA. So a segment of a DNA, like from here like to here, this is a segment of a DNA. We call it a gene. And then again from here maybe to somewhere here, it's another gene. So going further, so until the whole length of a DNA is complete, it's made up of thousands of genes. So this segment is called a gene. Also on the mother side, like this one, it's divided into genes. Like here to here, it's a gene. From here to here, maybe it's another gene. So we'll see until everything is covered. So this is how the gene is described. And then allele. Allele is a different form of a gene which occur at the same locus on a homologous chromosome. So like here we have a gene on the father side, and then we have another gene on the mother side. This gene from here to here and then from here to here, they are called allele as they are together because they are at the same locus. Locus, it means the position in a chromosome or a particular position in a chromosome. Like because these ones are at the same position. You can see it's from here to here and then from here to here. These genes are called allele. They code for something that has the same characteristics. So they might code for a hair color. So if this one is for it has coded for a blue hair color, this one will also code for a hair color. It might be red, it might be black, it might be, but the important thing, it will code for the same characteristics as this one. If it's for the eye color, this one will also for eye color. So we call this kind of gene alleles. So another example is here. So let's say this gene is code for a height. So this guy is short, and then here this gene is code for a tall. So that is mean the mother's the maternal chromosome has code for a tall. The paternal chromosome has a code for a short. These things are called alleles. This one is for short allele, this one is for tall allele. I hope I make sense. So going to the next, we have dominant allele and the recessive allele. So a dominant allele is an allele that is shown or is expressed. So like if you find someone who is tall, maybe, so that is mean the tall is dominating, right? This one is for, and then this one is for short. So if you find someone who is very tall, you may find that in their karyotype they have a chromosome for short, but because tall is more dominant to short, you will find that this person is it's tall, it's not short, because tall is more dominant to short. So we call the tall a dominant allele, but short as it's not visible, we call it recessive allele. Like recessive allele is an allele that is masked or is not shown. So that is masked, is there, but it's masked. It's not expressed in a simple term. So it's the difference between dominant and recessive. Dominant, it's expressed. Recessive is not expressed. Like another example, if you see here, we've got the tall, the red with the red pen is dominant, and the yellow pen is recessive. So what we will see someone who is tall. So tall is shown. So this one is tall. We will see someone who is tall. So that is mean this one is dominating, and then this one is recessive. Short is recessive, tall is dominating. And then even the eye color here, we have a allele for a blue eye color, and then allele for a brown eye color. So because this brown is dominating, what we will see someone with a brown eye color, but this blue color is masked by the brown eye color. So this brown is dominating, and this blue is more recessive. So another explanation, I will explain genotype and the phenotype. So genotype is a combination of allele for a particular gene. Like for example, here we have homologous chromosome, we have a dominating allele, we have a recessive allele. So this brown color is dominating and blue is recessive. When we want to write, if we have to write the genotype or to show the genotype of this particular individual, like a genotype. So for genotype, we will write B. This B here, because we started with the dominating allele, we will write B for this dominating allele. But the recessive one, we will write a small letter B for dominating allele. So we will write small letter B. Don't be confused. This B is not for blue. This B is for because B, this one is dominating, this one is recessive. If it was yellow here, we will also write B, because this small letter shows that this one is recessive, this one is dominating. So don't be confused. This B, it doesn't mean blue. It means we have brown is for B, and then this blue one is recessive. So this is how we write the genotype of a particular person. And then the phenotype. Phenotype is a physical appearance of an organism based on genotype. Is what we see. So phenotype. What do we see? What will we see? We will see someone with brown eyes. So phenotype is brown. So this is the difference between genotype and the phenotype. Genotype is a combination of the alleles or of a particular gene, and then phenotype is the physical appearance, is what is expressed. So this is the difference between genotype and the phenotype. For example, like here, we have this guy who is tall, and then we have this guy who is short. So for genotype, in this situation, genotype, we will write T, which is dominating, and then for short we write small letter T. That is mean this T represent short because it's recessive. So dominating one, we write capital letter. And then phenotype, it's what is expressed, or what we see someone who is tall, so we will write tall, because tall is dominating. This one is the one that is expressed. For phenotype, it will be tall. Genotype is T for dominating, which is capital letter, and then small letter T is for short, which is recessive. I hope I make sense. So now we go to homozygous and the heterozygous. So homozygous are two identical allele for a particular character. Like we have character 1 here and the character 2. So if you see the character 1, we have recessive allele and the recessive allele. So if we have a phenotype of this situation, so here the phenotype, I mean the genotype, sorry, the genotype here will be a small letter b and a small letter b. So because they are recessive, all they are recessive, these small letters explain that these things are recessive. So we have B and B. Because B and B are identical, so this situation here it's homozygous. So homozygous. And then the situation number B, number 2, we have recessive and a dominating. Here a genotype, so genotype here will be what is dominating is red. We will write red, and then blue we will write small letter r to show that blue is recessive to red. Blue is not going to be shown, we will show red. And then for this one it's heterozygous. Heterozygous is a 2 different allele for a particular character. So this one are 2 different allele. It's for blue and then red. So you must know the difference between homozygous and the heterozygous. This one are identical, these ones are different. This is very important, you must understand them. So like here it's an example. We have another situation here. We have a recessive allele which is short, and then we have a recessive allele which is short. And let me write the genotype first. So genotype which is short and short. So I will represent short as S. So that is mean I will write small letter s. I would say they are both recessive. And then if they were both dominating, I will write capital letter S. Because they are all recessive, I write small letter s. And then phenotype. For phenotype, if they are all recessive, what we will see someone who is short. Because nothing is dominating, so we will see someone who is short. And then is it a heterozygous or a homozygous? It's homozygous because it's S and S. It's a small letter s and a small letter s. So it's homozygous. It's homozygous. So this situation here is homozygous. Then let's come to this situation. We have a recessive allele and a dominating allele. So for genotype here, we will have a tall, which is T, capital letter T, and a short, which is recessive, we will write small letter t. And then phenotype, what we will see, because T is dominating, we will see someone who is tall. So phenotype. So for phenotype, we will see tall. We don't write only T, we write tall. And then is it homozygous or heterozygous? So this one is heterozygous because are 2 different allele. So this one are 2 different. So it's heterozygous. It's heterozygous. So you can see the difference here. One is homozygous, one is heterozygous. So next we go to the law of dominant. So the law of dominant say when 2 homozygous organisms with a contrasting characteristics are crossed, all the individual of the first generation will display the dominant trait. So here I make an example. I have a leaf here which is red, and the red is dominating while purple is recessive. So if we cross these 2 leaves, they will make their first generation will all of their first generation, they will show the dominating traits. So they will be red. If you see here, all their offspring are red because this one is recessive, this one is dominating. This is what the law is say. If you cross 2 homozygous, they are homozygous because it's RR and then PP. If you cross 2 homozygous and then all their offspring, they will show the trait of the dominating allele. So here red is dominating, that is why all the are red. This is the law of dominant. And then the next thing, the law of dominant, an individual that is heterozygous, this one is heterozygous for a particular characteristics, will have a dominant trait as the phenotype. So here if we have a heterozygous individual, like we have R and R, this the R is for red and then R is for blue. Let's say we have a allele for blue color here, so this genotype is R and R. But what we will see red. Even we have blue allele here, but we won't see the blue color. The blue color will just be there in the karyotype. But what will be expressed red, because red is dominating. So that is what the Lloyd say. If you have a heterozygous situation, so the dominating allele is the one that will be phenotype. So here phenotype is red. So this is the end of this video. If you have watched it to this far, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are studying, I say good luck with your studies. Thank you very much. God bless you.